A fury of ferocious winds, blizzards, and freezing temps overtake Colorado.
This Arctic storm still has some distance to go.
Tumbling temperatures again tonight. I'm Denver 7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson. I'll let you know when we're going to see some relief from the cold.
And this cold is taking a major toll on our community's resources. I'm Rob Harris in Denver, where we're seeing our shelters begin to fill up.
Travelers facing pure havoc ahead of the holidays. I'm Denver 7's Bayan Wang at DIA, where hundreds of flights have been either delayed or canceled.
Tonight, we are getting you ready for the next round of blistering cold weather.
Our Denver 7 Weather Action Day coverage continues right now.
All right, the snow may have stopped, but the cold is here to stay for now. The heavy Arctic storm is continuing to cause major issues for travelers tonight. Many roads are still snow-packed.
Colorado Highway 14 is shut down currently due to safety concerns. 59 is also seeing closures along with US 385 in that area, so avoid those roads if you're traveling.
So here's what our neighbors in western Nebraska are facing. This is new video from Nebraska State Patrol from last night between Scottsbluff and Kimball on Highway 71. With temperatures still well below freezing, those road conditions, yeah, they're going to remain dangerous tonight.
Unbelievable. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson joins us live now on this Weather Action Day. Mike.
We started out really cold this morning at DIA, 24 degrees below zero. The coldest reading on the map, tied with Laramie, Wyoming, and only 1 degree above the record low temperature for any morning in December. It's -9 right now. We've been below zero now for about 24 straight hours in the Denver area. And wind chills still very extreme out on the eastern plains, 38 below right now. That's what it'd feel like on exposed skin in Akron. Dangerous wind chills across the region overnight tonight. Now, there's no precipitation tonight except for a couple of flurries that are down near Durango, but otherwise you can clearly see the leading edge of this Arctic cold front. It's snowing in Memphis, Tennessee, right as we speak, and the current temperature is 18 degrees. Dallas is at 14 degrees, 14 below up at Billings. I'll let you know when this icy cold air will ease its grip on Colorado and which days will be back in the 50s.
And the need for shelter and warmth for those experiencing homelessness in Denver is very high this evening, and warming centers have been reaching capacity. The strain is compounded by an influx of migrants to our city. Just into the newsroom, the city reporting 218 new arrivals overnight, and that brings the total arrivals since December 9th to more than 1,500. Many of them currently staying in emergency shelters or warming centers. And the city is now, in fact, closing the Webb building downtown for its regular operations to use it as a warming center.
That's where Rob Harris is right now. And Rob, what is the city telling us about this situation?
Basically, Amy, that it's an all-hands-on-deck situation, that the amount of energy and expertise that's been required to make all this happen has been astounding. That's the word they used. So that effort includes, as you mentioned, the Webb building behind me, as well as a YMCA. And that's in addition to the initial warming center that was already set up at the Denver Coliseum. Now, we were able to go into that center today without our cameras to see the situation inside. What we can tell you is it is completely packed inside. When we talked to a few of the people who are staying in the shelters, they told us that it's been very crowded, that the smell has been strong, but they're still appreciative to have a roof over their heads.
Yeah, because I don't have nowhere to go right now. I'm homeless, and so it's really hard, but this is the only place to stay warm, so I stay here.
The city tells us that these shelters will be open through Saturday morning. That's when we're expecting the temperatures to finally leave these dangerously cold conditions and get back up into the 40s, which will be very helpful. Amy?
All right, Rob, thank you. And we want to go live now to Bayan Wang at Denver International Airport tonight. And Bayan, the weather outside is frightful, but travel situation inside the airport, it's actually not faring much better. Bayan.
I wish I could tell you that the situation was getting better, but right now, unfortunately, it's not on so many different levels. For one, you have those cancellations continuing to tick up hour by hour, although the majority of those cancellations happened overnight. On top of that, you have all the delays. We're talking more than 600 delays, and to be specific, more than 570 cancellations, impacting thousands of passengers who, as you can imagine, are very unhappy, many of them having absolutely no choice but to spend the night at DIA because the Westin Hotel at the airport is completely booked, trying to accommodate all of those passengers whose flights were canceled. On top of that, if they wanted to get, a rental car into, to take to a different hotel or motel near the airport, that was also a challenge because a lot of those rental cars were also booked. So a lot of frustration here at DIA, and here's some of what we've been hearing. You need a beer.
I need more than a beer. Yeah. Single mom with 3 kids in the airport and you're stuck for 3 days. Yeah. And there's no hotels and there's no cars. I would just drive to Nevada. They don't have any cars either.
Now, the baggage claim area was also very surprisingly busy, and as I've come to learn, that's really not surprising because if you think about it, a lot of passengers, were waiting by their gates or actually boarded their plane before finding out that that delay turned into a cancellation. So they go scrambling back to the baggage claim area and realize that they can't get their bags back for now. This is a live look at the TSA pre-check lines, the TSA lines, I should say, and that's kind of the good news here. I mean, we're talking maybe 5 to 15 minute average wait times here, but that's not the line we've been paying particular attention to. If we just pan to the left, that Southwest airline check-in has been busy throughout the entire day. At one point it wrapped around the entire corner because Southwest Airlines account for more than half of the cancellations. So we're talking thousands of passengers trying to rebook and finding very little luck trying to get a date rebooked on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day to be able to get to where they need to for the holidays. It's unfortunate, guys, but this is just a situation with Arctic temperatures out there.
Right. Tough situation out there. Thank you, Brian. And flights weren't the only things getting delayed or canceled today. There were multiple disruptions across RTD's system this morning and into the afternoon. One of the lines impacted was the A line to and from the airport. Several trips were canceled because of snow and mechanical problems, specifically doors that froze and couldn't open. Throughout the afternoon, the A-line trains could only board at the front door, according to this service alert. There were also lots of other trips canceled throughout the day because no operators were available. Now, despite the problems, RTD says they did the best they possibly could under these conditions.
In a weather situation like this, there's a lot of, variables that's really hard to prepare for. But overall, from an operations standpoint, I think we're pretty satisfied of how things have gone this morning.
Of course, the problems aren't over yet. This afternoon, RTD warned of 15 to 30-minute delays during the evening commute.
We've also seen intermittent power outages throughout the day. Right now, 15 outages are impacting 129 customers, down from more than 1,100 customers at its peak. We spoke with Xcel Energy today, who say overall their operations held up mostly as planned.
Crazy weather is no stranger to Colorado. So in a lot of ways, our company was prepared to deal with this extreme weather. We've been strategic with our crew locations, up some staffing levels so that we've got more folks able to respond more quickly.
Looking closer, as temperatures go down, heating bills are going up by a lot. The National Energy Assistance Directors Association says the average cost of keeping a house warm this winter is about $1,200. That's a 17% increase from last year. About 1 of every 6 U.S. families are behind on their utility bills.
This bitter cold can cause your water pipes to freeze or even break. So I checked with Denver Water to get some advice on what to do next. And they're telling us if a pipe is frozen, don't wait for it to thaw out naturally. If you can't thaw it yourself, then you should call a plumber for help. Also, if you do decide to do it yourself, shut off the water valve so water doesn't gush out. And lastly, slow thaws are always better because warming too quickly could cause a break.
Now remember, you can get 24/7 weather updates and live radar on your TV. Just download the free Denver 7 Plus app on your favorite streaming device.